Good morning, guys. It is Monday, the 21st of October, and so this was meant to be my weekly update six video for what's coming up this week. And as you can probably see from the on the screen, I suffer from diverticulosis basically. And I was kind of diagnosed with it a couple of months ago when I had I can never say these things properly, gastros, gastroscopy and a colonoscopy. And I tell you now, the one down the throat is horrible. It felt like someone was putting their arm down my throat into my stomach, and that I couldn't breathe. And I was like when it was happening, and I had someone massaging my massaging my my neck and back and going shh 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 shh, shh into my ear and just relax, just relax. And luckily, like after a couple of seconds it passed. That feeling, I had like a gas thing that I could use if I wanted to the whole way through both procedures, which luckily I didn't use. But you'd kind of like just put it on and you just breathe into it, and it's supposed to relax you and everything. So there's gas in there or something. Because they kept saying to me, "Do you want it? Do you want it?" And I was like, "Is it really going to be that bad?" And they was like, "Well, it can be really uncomfortable, and some people." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was thinking the worst, but I braved through a lot of it, especially the one that went up my butt. And when it was going around corners, it's a weird feeling. I when I just said that, when it's going around the corners, I felt the feeling again. It's like a weird pushing sensation, like as it goes, as the camera's moving around. And I can't really explain it. It's just the weirdest feeling. And at one point, as it was going round, they said, "Okay, now you need to turn onto your back as we go round," kind of thing. And as they did that, it was just like, yeah, like again, same feeling, like someone putting their bloody arm up me. Just moving all around in my stomach, and just the weirdest feeling. But yeah, basically, anyway, like, let's not be too grim. Like the drink that I had to drink as well for the day before was horrible, and the one in the morning on the day that I had to drink as well made me vomit. Which I'm used to at this point, because for the last year or so I get dizzy and vomit a lot. I get weeks or days of it at a time and stuff, and it's it's not good. So that's why a lot of this investigation stuff's been going on now for a while, because it was first my hearing, like COVID, then my hearing, and so on and so on, basically. I don't want to bore people with details, really. So yeah, basically this weekend, just slowly but surely over the weekend, it's gradually got worse and worse. My stomach feeling horrible, cramped, like squished, stabbing pains, all on my left side, lower left side. So if you get a lot of pain in your lower left side of your stomach, below your belly button, but on the left of it, between your belly button and your hip, basically. But I've got a lot of lumps that I can feel through my skin there. When I can just touch, I don't have to push, I can feel them, like. And when I do press on it a little bit and I lay on my back, I can feel a lot of lumps. And I was always told that it was cysts and stuff, but now it could be that, as well as stuff that's kind of pushing out through my intestines and stuff, basically. But yeah, so basically, kind of, I don't really know what to say about this week, to be honest. my original plan was to do kind of what I have been the last few weeks, and that's a Teen Titans video. At least one of those a week is my target. To do a couple of videos on Squad Busters. I wanted to do some of the new Turtles game that we got on Friday, and I don't know about. There was all these little videos that I kind of had sort of planned for gaming videos really this week, because I wasn't planning on going out anywhere this week except from Saturday to the Unite the Kingdom march or rally or whatever you want to call it, at Victoria, going to the House of Parliament or whatever, and that's Saturday 26th. I'm hoping by then I'm gonna be okay to go. It's just this morning I've woke up and I've not been able to sleep hardly this weekend. I've had like a couple of hours sleep each night, and it keeps waking me up when I move and stuff like that. It wakes me up because it's like such an uncomfortable feeling or pain that I get as well. Like it alternates between uncomfortable feeling, someone pushing hard onto my stomach area, or like I'm being stabbed, like. And the reason I've never been stabbed, but the reason I know it feels like a stabbing thing is because it's in such a small tiny area, and it's like a very sharp pain, and it's fast, and it's dish 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 like that, and then it stops, and then it's dish dish, and then dish 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 dish, and it's just it's horrible, so I haven't been able to sleep properly, and I can't concentrate, I can't focus, I can't think properly and stuff. So I phoned my doctor this morning, and she's called me back now and stuff, and I'm gonna go in tomorrow morning, probably go back on the medication that I was just finished as well last week, like the weekend before. Probably go back on that again for a bit longer, which I'll show some screenshots in a second. I'll go across so you can have a look, for anyone who's kind of interested, or anyone who's kind of experienced similar things or whatever, can have a little look. Yeah, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so that's, sorry, tomorrow going in to see her, and then have do a urine sample. And the last two times I've had this feeling, and this was before I had the colonoscopy and the investigations and all that done. The last two times earlier this year that I had this feeling, they got me to do it, and one time I had blood in my urine, and another time I had like a infection or whatever, a UTI or whatever, urine infection. So I'm guessing the same thing is going on, because I feel the same thing. I go to the toilet and I feel like I kind of need to go again. And the last two times I've gone, I explained to her that I get this kind of weird burning, not burning feeling, but like a weird uncomfortable feeling when I wee and stuff, and it's getting more intense. And I know probably by the end of today or something, it's gonna be how it was, like that almost burning feeling. So yeah, that's basically tomorrow. So I'm hoping that she'll give me something and I start feeling a bit better. And so probably in the next couple of days I might not do videos, or I might only do, I can't walk around, I can't concentrate, and I can't do much. So if I do any videos, it might just be a quick squad buster video or something like that for the next couple of days, other than this one. And then hopefully end of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday sort of time, I might be able to do some videos, plus the Unite the Kingdom one. I really want to go and do that, because I feel it's important. It's important to me, and a lot of people will probably hear that and they, oh god, far right, blah. Everyone's entitled to their opinions about left, right, middle, up, down, whatever you want. I don't care. Everyone's entitled to their opinions about it. And but that's just my opinion, and my thing is, I'm in my 40s, and I know what this country was like when I was a kid and a teenager, and it's nothing like that now. And a lot of the people that are against that, against the right people on the right side, not the right or wrong side, I mean on the right side, the left people or the far left people, they're either too young, and this is all they know. This last 10, 20 years is all they know, because that's all they've seen. Or it seems to be the really old people, and I don't know if maybe, you know they've completely forgotten what life was like when they were growing up or whatever. But I don't know. Or maybe they just live in places that, don't really see any issues, and so to them they think that everything's okay. So, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that, because that's like, I'm not trying to persuade anyone to do whatever, left, right, whatever. Like, that's just my thing, and I want to do it. And F you if you hate me for it or whatever, or you're against me for it. Like, it's just, you know you can say what you want, I don't care. But that's what I want to do. So I'm hoping that I'll be okay, because I want to go. So yeah, so that'll be that. So basically that's the weekly update. So anyone who doesn't sort of want to hear about the diverticulosis stuff, just maybe stop watching now, because I'm just gonna show a couple of screenshots or whatever of my thingy, my letter that I was given on the day and stuff. So if anyone else is kind of interested or going through something similar, they can, it might be useful to someone. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Okay, so let's go. Right, so this was I've kind of taken out the top part because it had all my details and the doctor's details and stuff, so I didn't want to put all that in there. So it's just the main info, and I'll turn the camera off now anyway. So that was the gastroscopy that was done. And I think where I've been throwing up a lot the last year or so, the acids and stuff, I know it's causing problems in my mouth, because it's damaged some of my teeth and that, from all the stomach acids that I've been throwing up. Because when I'm sick, I'm sick past the point of there's nothing left to throw up. I'm throwing up like weird coloured liquidy stuff, like slimy stuff, and that's like apparently the stomach acids and stuff. So I don't know if that's what's causing a lot of it, where it shows on the diagram like number 1 and 2 area, like where the esophagus or whatever joins into the stomach. There's a lot of damage, like little bits of damage or something there or whatever. So I don't know if that's from that. I did explain to him about the vomiting and stuff like that. But apparently it's like the heartburn, stomach acids, acid reflux and stuff. So then there's, I don't know, gastritis or something, and then duodentus or something in the duodenum or whatever. I don't know. I can't pronounce these words, man, and I'm just no good at trying to pronounce them. So I thought it might be better that I show like the picture so that people could see that, and maybe understand. I don't know. I also like do get so from early this year was a lot of the urine infections and blood in my urine, and then I had these done in August, right near the beginning of August, and leading up to that, like June, no, maybe April to June sort of time, I had blood in my stool, in my poopy, uh, and that would happen, like a couple weeks every uh, every time I would go, which wasn't like how you should, where you should be going every day or whatever, have a regular sort of routine or whatever. Like I haven't had that for like the last couple of years really, and it's got worse. So to the point where when this was starting to happen really badly, like earlier this year, uh, it's now at a point where I can sometimes only go to the toilet like number two, go to the toilet like once, if I'm lucky, twice a week. So I kind of put it down to maybe where I was going only not often, and it was maybe why I was bleeding because of, like kind of, I don't know, like getting caught on something or whatever, or because I hadn't gone. It's not like it was a lot more than usual or anything like that, or sort of. I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically, like the going to the toilet didn't really look any different to when my stomach was good. It wasn't like it was massive amounts and it was rock hard looking or watery looking. It was just normal kind of looking almost, but just not lots really, just small amounts. So I didn't really think that it could be that, like, maybe going a lot and it's kind of stretch something or hurt something on the way out or something. But so I kind of said that to the person around that time, like May, June time or whatever, and that was, or April, May, sometime around then. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head now, but they said, oh yeah, like, so basically you need to have the colonoscopy done because could be something going on, even though it was bright red, so it's like near the bottom or whatever, and it's not like darker colored, so it's further up. So said it could be like just before where it's coming out or a little bit further up, but not too far up, because otherwise it wouldn't be bright red. So anyone with diverticulitis and stuff, it's kind of, let me go to the next screen. Anyone with diverticulitis, diverticulosis or diverticular or whatever, all those kind of linked together, I guess. Um, Diseases. It's usually in the wait. Where is the picture? Hold on. Let me pause it and come back. Okay, so this is the picture of the colonoscopy. If I say it slowly and that, I can kind of pronounce it. So yeah, so I had some polyps as well, and I had I think a couple removed in my stomach area. I think, wait, hold on. Uh, he said that I did, but it doesn't say anything there. It just says specimens taken, biopsy, two. So I think he said a couple. So I assumed he meant a couple from here and then one from the other. So um, yeah, and then there's like a little clamp thing that he had to put like a little metal clip around it, and yeah. So basically, I didn't watch when they went down into my stomach. I was just too traumatized at that point with what was going on. And then sort of after a few seconds, just like laying there, just concentrating on my breathing and keeping my eyes closed at that point. And the guy who's rubbing my neck and that was like, "You can watch if you want." And I was like, "No, no, no." Basically, in my head, I was like, because I couldn't talk, because obviously the thing's down my mouth and stuff. So I'm like, I can't talk. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, no, 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 I can't watch. And then when they flipped me round and they did it up my butt and stuff, he's like, "You can watch if you want," and I was like, oh, "I can't, man." Like, I couldn't watch the first bit. I said, when I watch things on telly, like surgeries or hospital things, it always makes me feel really like weak and funny feeling. And when I go into hospitals, I really hate going in them. Literally in my life, I've gone in for my head to be glued on the back, so I was there for a few hours. Stitches in my thigh, when I was a kid, and my leg went under one of those things in the parks that you kind of them roundabout things that you spin round and round, and my leg slipped underneath, and the screw kind of went straight across my leg. So I needed stitches all the way across my thigh. So I was in there for a few hours for that. But other than that, like for myself, it's only ever really been like when I cut my finger open, they wanted to check to see if I'd had like, tetanus and stuff, and if there was anything in there, because it was like half of my little finger was hanging off, like the flap, not the actual finger itself, just the skin flap bit was hanging off at the top where the fingerprint is. But yeah, otherwise for myself, like I haven't really been into hospital, like just odd time probably over the years for a few hours or whatever, like for these kind of things as well. Like I've had uh, CT scans, ultrasounds, yeah. Um, what's the MRI? That's it in my head. I had that one done late last year, because of the headaches and the dizziness and stuff. Yeah, so basically, I just don't like hospitals and stuff. So when my daughter was born, she was premature, and I was in there a lot with her to visit her, and that didn't feel so bad because it's like, baby's ward and stuff like that, so it doesn't feel too uncomfortable. But when you have to walk through the rest of the hospital, and the smell of the hospital, and just the look of people walking around, it's just like, yeah, I don't mean to be nasty or anything, but it feels like the Grim Reaper is like following people around in there. Like, it just feels like death everywhere. So I just don't like it. I just don't like hospitals. So yeah, so basically I just couldn't watch at that point. But when they did the thing, I was on my side like I am now, and just doing it, and it didn't feel too bad. Like when at first, the first few minutes didn't feel so bad. So he's talking to me, and he's right next to me, like the other guy who's with him, and we're just chatting and stuff. And he's looking at the screen every now and again, and he's like, "Oh, if you want to look, you could have a look." He goes, "It's not grim. You don't see blood and guts and stuff. You just see the pipes." Like he said, it doesn't even look bad. It just looks like wet skin kind of thing, almost like something like that, I think he said. So I sort of thought, let me just look. And I thought, I'm going to look and I'm going to see something, and then I'm going to end up having to close my eyes the whole time. But I didn't. That's the thing. I looked, and then for the rest of the procedure, I watched, but I didn't see the first couple of minutes, which was the bit where they go in, and on the picture there, it's number 6 where the diverticular stuff is. Normally it all happens in that area. Number 6 going up towards number 5 is the worst area for it. So I missed that. That was the first part. It's when they got up to the number 5 going to number 4, that sharp corner, that's when they asked me to turn, and that's when I felt uncomfortable, and then going down the other way. And then when they came back, they kind of went through really quick until they got back where number 7 was roughly just up of that, like at the turning point, I think. So between 7 and 6, before the diverticular stuff is. There was polyp there, and they wanted to take it, and so it's like doing it. And I said, I made a joke, and I said, what, you'd probably be really good at doing the claw machines at the arcades at the seaside, with that little grabber thing, because it was going in. And I was like, how big is that anyway? Because on the screen it looks massive because everything's magnified. And he's like, it's uh, the little clip thing that went on. He said it's like a little grain of rice. It's that small. So yeah, the tool was about the size roughly of that, a little bit bigger, tiny bit bigger, because it was like 2 little claw things, and then it clamped together. And then he had to do it a couple of times to get it to go, because first of all snipped the polyp away and took that, and then went in with the clip and had to have like this almost little tiny, must have been like a mini hose of little droplets, but it looked like it was like a hose pipe, and it washing away the blood and stuff. So let clip it. Um, and yeah, so they're sending that off for biopsy. I haven't had anything back, and I spoke to my doctor about it today, and she said she hasn't seen anything, and it's been just over 2 months now, so I don't really know. I said to her, I'm not really worrying about it, because if it was anything, I probably would have been notified, right? And she's like, yeah. So I've got a follow up next year, early next year, with the person who, you know, arranged all of this anyway. So I don't know if I have to have another one or something, because basically when they come out, they said that it's diverticular, and as you get older, it's quite common in people. And for my age now, like over 40, it's the walls of the intestines can become weaker and stuff, and that's how it bubbles out and stuff. So it's not like it's a completely, like, rare disease. It's quite common in people. I think I can't remember now, like 1 in 8 or something, or was he saying 8 in every something amount? Can't remember. But it's not like it's a very sort of. But what is rarer is the severity of it. You can get ones where where they bubble out, they can burst, or they can split, or infection can get there, and it can spread throughout your stomach area, like to your bowel and stuff like that. And then that's when it's called diverticulitis, because at the moment it's diverticulosis. But diverticulitis is when it gets to the worst part of it, and that's when you can end up having to have like parts of your intestine like cut away or whatever, or surgeries done and things like that, and it can become, you know, kind of dangerous. Like, I always look back at the one person that I only ever really knew had it until the last couple of years and stuff, like looking into it more, was Brock Lesnar. And he apparently almost could have died from it. It got so bad because he didn't know he had it and stuff, and it got to, like, the infection got really bad and stuff like that, and it can cause sepsis and all this kind of thing if untreated. So it's not dangerous per se, like as it is, but it can become worse and have knock-ons and stuff. But yeah, so basically, I mean, that's all I know of it. Basically, I tried to look into it, but there's a lot of information, and it's kind of hard to kind of digest the stuff. So basically, what I was given was these capsules here for 2 months, and that's what basically I've just finished taking. And yeah, they said that was mainly for the acid reflux and the buildup of acids and all that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's what's also maybe getting into my intestine and causing the weakening of the lining and the bubbling. I don't really know, or it's just through the getting older and I was going to get it anyway, or like they said, it can be also come from too much lifting, straining, and all that kind of thing. And I've done a lot of that over my life, with the kind of work that I've done, and gym and football and all that kind of stuff, like maybe overdoing things sometimes, and kind of it's stemmed from that. Like, I don't know, but all I do know is when I feel my stomach, I've got a lot of lumps, and all over on that left side mainly. I got a couple on the right side, little ones, and around on my hips and my back and lower back area and stuff. And that's where I get a lot of like uncomfortable feelings, pains, all sorts, and yeah. So it's not good, basically. So yeah, so basically these tablets are finished taking, and I didn't really think much of it at the time, because I was more worried about my stomach, and they were like my lower like stomach and stuff like that, and they were talking more about my upper stomach, like the start point of it. And my liver, that was another thing. My liver was inflamed. That was what kind of got me onto the whole thing in the first place, was blood tests being done, and my liver was inflamed. And then I had this AAT thing or something, but I'm a carrier of it and not sufferer from it. And then they did more investigations, and then that was when my urine was had blood in it, and then this thing, and then that thing, and it kind of just escalated from there. It went from one thing to another. So then it's like, you've got this gene uh, disease or whatever that's not bad or whatever for me, and then it's like you've got an inflamed liver, and then it's, oh, you've got diverticulitis or whatever, diverticulosis. So it's kind of, it's gone from one thing to another to another. So yeah, what was my point going to be? Sorry, I just find it hard to concentrate and focus today, and I don't know if it's just tiredness or just how it is anyway. Because that's one of the things that you can get as well, a lot of confusion and not being able to focus. Yeah, so basically, I'm going back there tomorrow, and hopefully she'll give me these pills, because I didn't think anything of the starter point of my stomach until I started taking them. And then I started noticing when I would eat any certain things that were causing like a weird feeling in my bottom of my chest, like where the chest and stomach meet area. Sometimes I'd get like a weird kind of feeling there after eating or while I'm eating. Or if I did drink any, like, fizzy drinks and stuff, like all of a sudden, like I would kind of like get this weird hiccup kind of feeling, and come up, and it would kind of like feel funny in my chest, and like for a minute afterwards it feel like something was stuck, like, or like pressure there. So it was weird. But while I was taking these, I kind of didn't really notice that. And now looking at it, since I've stopped taking it, I look back on them 2 months and trying to think of when I was feeling bad, and maybe I was at the start of the 2 months, but definitely that last month, I don't remember any of those kind of feelings. My stomach was still having like the uncomfortable feeling from time to time, and the stabbing feeling. I had like a couple of days of it here and there, and then it would go for like a few days and then come back, and so that's still there. But like when I was eating and after eating and stuff, and the weird hiccupy kind of thing, and the weird kind of like can't quite swallow whatever's going down or whatever. Weird. I can't really explain it. It's weird. Unless you've gone through it, you can't really explain it. Maybe someone can explain it better, but yeah, like acid reflux or whatever they call it. So yeah, basically, like I didn't really notice that so much, definitely in the last bit of time, and then leading up to now this week, it feels like this week, last week since I've taken it, which was last Sunday, was the last time I took one of them tablets, and then it finished. And then as the week went on, I started noticing it a little bit more and more and more, uncomfortable feeling, pains and stuff like that. And then yeah, this weekend it's just been really bad, like not being able to sleep properly, waking up a lot. That feeling again when I'm eating. So either I have to go back on the 20 milligrams, and I was taking basically two a day, one in the morning, one in the evening sort of time, one with breakfast, one with dinner. And so she kind of said maybe you might have to go on like a lower dosage, like for a little while or something. So from what I was reading as well, it's like some people have to come off of them slowly, because otherwise it can cause it just to come back, or whatever. And so sometimes you can just take it and it sorts it out and stuff. So I don't know, with me it looks like it's one of them things where I might have to go on to like 20 milligrams like once a day or something, and then they do one that's a 10 milligram one, so maybe come off of it slowly, and then sort of gradually over a few months maybe it will kind of go, or maybe I have to keep going on and off of these things. I don't really know. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks to be getting older. And I always used to laugh when I was a teenager, and that when older people would say to me, "You're lucky that you're young, and when you get older, it's gonna suck, and you're gonna be in pain all the time, and you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that, and you're good. You won't have good days every day, and you might have more bad days than good days, and all this fear mongering and stuff." And I was always like, "Oh no, I'll be fine. I'm a warrior," and all this. And definitely the last couple of years, it's the opposite. So yeah, if you're young and watching this and you're healthy, then take it from me. You might be now, but don't take that for granted. You know, uh, make the most of it, definitely, because you might get to your 40s or whatever, or 30s even, and it could all go south from there. So if you're healthy now, enjoy it. And if you're like me and you're not, then you know what I'm talking about, and you feel my pain and I feel your pain, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm at like 36 minutes, and plus I really need to go to the toilet again now. So yeah, so anyone who still watched after the basically the gaming kind of weekly update part, thanks for watching. And if you kind of any opinions or tips, or just want to talk about it or whatever, or just say something, just put it in the comments below, and we can all maybe share our experiences, or whatever. If there is anybody still watching, maybe I've bored everyone to death by now, and no one's watching, or they've seen this 30 odd minute video and gone, nah, I'm not watching that. But yeah, like anyone who is watching, thank you for watching. And if you're going through this, you're not alone. I'm going through it too. So if you want to talk, you can always talk. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.